Welcome to Home Team Advantage. I'm Gary Gimbetti along with Mike Egan, and we've had a couple week hiatus because you had a nice little trip down to Florida.
1 week.
Was it 1 week only?
1
God, it
week.
felt like 2 weeks. Don't ask me why it felt like 2 weeks, but it certainly did. But did you have a good time?
Very nice.
All right.
Weather was nice. Kids all had a great time, and I had to check them every night to make sure they didn't have any webs between their fingers because they spent more time in the ocean and the pool than they did anything else. So,
Well, that's why you go down there.
yeah.
to
But though
enjoy it.
the last day we were there, it rained. So we actually went, and my first time I've ever been to a trampoline park, and they spent hours and hours. By the time they were done in there, let's go back. I'm really tired. But yeah, it was nice. It was a nice trip.
All right. Well, that's good.
Now I
Refreshed.
come back here to the rainforest.
Yeah, refreshed your memory and.
Well, not really,
Oh, okay.
but I drowned in it a few times.
So you killed some brain cells.
Yeah.
So today's show ought to be really good. Well, if it was as good as what we were talking about before we went on the air, that'd be really good.
Well, we never did make it. They got a really neat zoo down there with camels, but I never made it to it.
Okay. All right, let's
Especially on a Hump Wednesday.
yeah. Hump day.
Humpity hump. Hey, Mike, what day is it? Don't you remember that commercial?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep. Mike,
Mike.
what day is it, Mike?
Two hump Wednesday.
So the purpose of this show is to kind of talk sports, but maybe we should talk about other things other than sports.
We could really get in trouble.
Oh
then.
yeah, they'd kick us off the air if we talked about what we wanted to talk about.
Anyways, we have a girls softball playing in Cloquet today.
Today at 1 o'clock, they play Hermantown. They're the number 3 seed. They got, if you want to call it that, they got upset last night by the number 6 seed, 9-7. They were up 4-0, up 4-1. Then it was tied 4-4. And then in the bottom of the 6th inning, we scored 3 runs to take a 7-4 lead, and just get 3 outs in the 7th inning. And we had a hard time getting 3 outs. And North Branch scored 5 runs and went up 9-7 in the bottom of the 7th. Our first 2 hitters went out, unfortunately. If one of them would have got on base, if one of those 2 would have got on base and one of them did hit the ball hard, it just got fielded and she got thrown out at first base. If she had gotten on, that brought the top of the order up, and Miss Bobin hit a triple. So, you would have had a run, and you would have had her on third with less than 2 out, and you would have had an opportunity to tie the game up. But their pitcher struck out the next hitter, and that was it. So now they drop down to the elimination round and have Hermantown, and hopefully Ani's ready to go today because she threw a lot of pitches yesterday, and it's North Branch was I wish I could think of the words. My mind's going on me, but they hit a lot of foul balls on pitches that, could possibly have struck them out. And so she had to work extra hard yesterday to get out of that game. So hopefully her arm heals up in time today. But they did beat Hermantown 9-2 just about a week or 2 ago. So hopefully they can continue on. And
So if they win, do they come back to home, or do they play?
no, all the games now I believe are in Cloquet.
Okay.
I'll see if I can find that while we're talking here. I hope I can talk and do this at the same time. But
Just don't chew gum.
no, that would be impossible. So let's see. But yeah, it was a great game. There's no doubt about it. It was very entertaining, and had to play at the Cheever Field, which wasn't a bad thing for us up in the press box.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of cold out last night, so it was nice to be up there. But I'll find.
Well, at least they got the game in. I didn't have to play, like you said, at some of the other parks we have in town that you got to have a canoe to go from first to third. So
Yeah, no, and we'll get to that as soon as we bring up the baseball team, because I'll look on here for that too. But yeah, they have Hermantown's at 1 o'clock. If they win, let's see here. They'll actually play at 3 o'clock today, I believe. Yeah, it's the 23rd today.
Yep.
Yeah, so they'll play at 3 o'clock if they win. And they'll play either, I don't know who for sure, but Rock Ridge and Cloquet are in the winners bracket along with Chisago Lakes and North Branch. So I would assume maybe they'll play the loser of the Rock Ridge Cloquet game down there. Now how Cloquet gets home field advantage through all this, I don't get it, but they're the 4th seed, and then they get to play at home, so they don't have to travel anywhere. And it's like Chisago and North Branch obviously are coming from a ways away.
Right.
I get that. I mean, they're more inconvenienced than anybody. But I heard they wanted to play Monday because obviously Monday turned out to be gorgeous up here.
Yep.
And I guess they thought that was too inconvenient to have to travel up here on Monday. So they come up on Wednesday and they're playing in 35-mile-an-hour winds and showers and stuff. Would have been nice to have seen what would have happened if they played in nice weather, because I'm sure both pitchers had grip problems yesterday because it wasn't warm out.
Well, it should be okay today, though. I mean, it's going to be a little cool, but at least they can dry up a little bit.
Well, if it hits 60 degrees, it should be fine.
Yep.
So, and it's supposedly what's supposed to happen. But yeah, that's it's unfortunate, but that's what happened, and now they have to fight their way through the elimination brackets and hopefully get back into contention and hopefully have a chance at state, because I think this team does have a chance. I totally believe that they're good enough to go to the state tournament. So,
Well, it'll be interesting to see, as you said, if how much he's got left in the arm.
yeah, that's going to be the key. Now they do have Emma McDowell has pitched this year, and she's pretty good. I think she's a sophomore, so
Okay.
she has the ability to throw well. So I suppose if they needed her, they'd have to go to her, obviously, but we'll see what happens.
Okay.
And now I'm getting in. Oh shoot, I did go to the wrong thing. Darn it. Good thing I didn't swear.
Yeah. And they'd have to pull us off the air.
Yeah, I know. I gotta find boys sports. That's right where I wanted to go anyway. But the baseball team held their wood bat tournament last weekend, the Bugliosi Classic.
And they had it over at Rock Ridge.
Yeah, they had to play over in Rock Ridge. Surprise, surprise, because the fields were underwater. And unfortunately, I was too lazy to drive over there. I'll admit it. I didn't want to drive over there. Plus, I was playing golf this weekend anyway in that Adam Johnson Memorial.
Let's be honest about it. You were just upset because they were playing in Rock Ridge.
No, I don't mind going over there because I think they do have a press box up now over there, and they're nice fields. So
They're turfed,
yeah,
and they're turfed.
turfed. Jeez, that's a novel idea.
Well, maybe the city and the school and the college could get together and turf the field out here so you can play baseball.
And here's
Isn't that what you told me before we had the meeting?
yeah.
Yeah.
On Friday night, they did lose to Proctor 4-0.
This is boys baseball.
This is baseball. And on Saturday, they lost to Cloquet 2-0 after beating Cloquet earlier in the year by beating them 9-1 earlier, like on May 9th, and now they lose 2-0 to them. And then they beat Roseau on Saturday 3-1, and Roseau's not that bad. They made it 2 years ago. I know they made a run to the state finals. So that's a good one. But now on Monday, they lost to Superior 3-1, and then they lost to Duluth Marshall 6-1 yesterday. So Marshall's pretty good though, I think. So that's not so bad. And then they're at Grand Rapids today. Unfortunately, I had that printed wrong. It said on their schedule on the Lake Superior Conference that game was here, and that's what I wrote in the paper, but that's not right. They're at Grand Rapids, and then Friday they have Hermantown here, I think. because they were supposed to play them here about a
Yeah,
week
right
or
now.
two ago, and they were getting ready to play, and then the rain came, and that called the game. So good. So they have 2 more games, and then they'll start playoffs next week. I don't know the seedings yet, so we'll see.
You know,
what
instead of
happens.
all these schools building their own little thing, why don't they build a centrally located indoor facility baseball style? Just say, okay, a dome, so that these teams can play.
Well, I know it's not a bad idea.
You know, centrally located in Hibbing.
Yeah.
Might be in Greenhaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have plenty of land, I think,
Yeah,
to
there's
do
there's
that.
enough spots to do it.
So that would be nice, but yeah, that's a dream, but it's never going to happen. But hey, you want to play your tournament in Hibbing,
Got to win.
you have to win. You have to have fields that are playable.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the thing. Now,
I mean, you can't. It's sort of been an unusual year so far, where it's. I mean, in February they could have played a lot of baseball,
it was probably warmer in
It's probably
February
warmer.
than it is right now. But
and then with all the rain we've gotten, you know, this is. We went from totally dry to Smokey the Bear saying, "Hey, man, it's really wet now."
yeah, we don't have to worry about drought or forest fires anyway. But I did get a letter in the mail from the Hibbing Baseball Association the other day. They want to build a hitting facility.
Oh, nice.
So, and obviously they're looking for funds. And being a former baseball player here, I suppose I could pitch in a little bit of money,
Yes.
but
You could spot them a 5 or a 10.
$10K or or $10. No, I'd give a little more than $10, but there's a start because you get teams, and I know we beat Grand Rapids earlier, but I say it every year, they hit the snot out of the ball, Grand Rapids. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't know, do we do that sometimes?
Well, for years we talked about, even when I was, coaching, that whenever you hit the Grand Rapids, you knew you were in for a game. I mean, they're well coached and well, I don't know what the other word would be for it.
Well, I know what you want to say, but I can't think of the word either. But there's just something there. They have it.
It's tradition.
Yeah, they have tradition. They have
carry-
it.
It goes year after year after year, and it's the kids. The kids know that every year that they need to produce, and they work hard to do it.
Hmm.
It's simple as that.
And where they find the time to hit all the time over there to be as powerful as they are is beyond me. Maybe they have an indoor facility where they hit in. I don't know, but they seem to take it seriously, and not that kids here don't, because they probably do. But yeah, you need something to be able to catch up with some of these teams. And my big question to one of the coaches one day was, how do we develop a pitcher who can throw between 90 and 95 miles an hour?
Oof.
I mean, hey, schools have them.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid last night that pitched for Washington against Minnesota came out of Bloomington Jefferson, and he must have been throwing upper 80s
In high school.
in high school,
Yeah.
and then he went to Oklahoma, I think. The Twins drafted him like in the 37th round, which is no longer exists.
Yeah.
But he decided to go to Oklahoma, and now he comes out and he's playing for the Nationals and throwing over 90 miles an hour.
Wow.
So has to be a way to get some of these kids to pump up that fastball, because if you have that in high school,
Oh, you got a clear 4-year degree going for you.
yeah. And I just don't know how you do it. I mean, I suppose it's throwing a lot, but I'm sure it's probably a lot of it is core work and hip and whatever.
Well, and doing it right, because you don't want to, like you say, it's nice to have a kid that can throw at 90, but you don't want to throw an arm out, and then you're done. So,
Yeah.
and they got to have the training facility. They got to have the right trainers, guys showing them what to do. And if you have that, then who knows? Sky's the limit.
I can't think in the past, I can't think of one kid in this program that's ever, maybe they've hit 80, but I can't think of one kid, I know I know somebody. His name's Dan Forer, who was drafted by the Dodgers back in the '70s, who was a big left-handed pitcher, and he could throw the ball. There's no doubt about that. I don't know. I'll have to ask him next time I see him or talk to him about how fast he was throwing it. But
Did they have speed guns back then?
well, yeah, they did. And I know Denny Blomberg also was drafted by Pittsburgh, and I think he actually played with Pittsburgh for a few games. So he must have been able to throw the ball. But I'll have to ask him what he maybe topped out at when I see him. But I know they were both those two were on the same team.
Yeah.
You know, and they were pretty good back then. But I just don't know how you get somebody to throw the ball 90 to 95 miles an hour.
Yeah.
With
With
control,
accuracy,
with
yeah.
control, I get it. You need control, otherwise, because Joan Duran's finding out that just because he throws the ball 102 miles an hour doesn't mean he's going to
Not
get
going to
guys
get the
out.
call. Yeah.
Yeah, he's given up like 3 home runs and like the last 3 times he's pitched. So the guys will catch up with the 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but
Well, it wasn't it a couple of games ago too. Some Twins pitcher threw the ball, and the catcher and the umpire just went right over the top of their heads.
that could be. I hadn't watched the Twins for like 2 weeks during their 7-game losing streak. I hadn't watched them one bit, so I don't know what really happened during those games. But
Well, they got 2 in a row now. So,
yep.
but we better finish up high
But
school before
the high school, I don't know how the individuals went yesterday for tennis. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't heard anything. But Hibbing the boys team did lose to Rock Ridge in the finals of 7A last week, 5-2. So, well, congratulations to Gary on a great year. I know they wanted to beat Rock Ridge, I know, but Rock Ridge is always tough.
Yeah.
They're never down, it doesn't seem like. So.
Well, they got a nice indoor facility they can play in.
Oh, Jesus, there's another shot. Yeah, boy, I don't know. I mean, we're lacking here, I'll tell you.
Well, it doesn't do any good for us to sit here and bitch about that. We don't have this, we don't have that, when other communities do. It's just a matter, somebody's got to step up and say, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get the funding to do it and get it done. I mean, this is a great community here. Don't care what people say. Hibbing is a great community. But for some reason, we just don't get what everybody else gets.
No, we're behind. We're behind technologically, I think. It's not necessarily, I suppose, I'm not talking internet, but just the fact that, Aurora has a nice turf baseball field. Rock Ridge has a nice turf field. Esco, I believe, has a nice turf field. Duluth obviously has Wade Stadium.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't think any of the high school. Well, no, I don't know, because Duluth East does not have a turf baseball field.
But the other thing too is, Duluth's got more people, population-wise, are bigger than us. But like you just mentioned, Esco's not much bigger than Hibbing, and Mesabi's not much bigger, and Virginia sure heck ain't much bigger than us.
No.
I mean, oh yeah, well they got the highway. Well,
So we got a highway coming through town here.
Yeah.
Are we the gateway to the north?
Well, we were the
To
highway,
Ely?
highway to nowhere.
Yeah.
So
that song that AC/DC sings, I won't mention it on the air.
the highway to hell.
Oh, okay, I'll let you do that.
Oh, they can play it on the radio. I can say it here, right?
Well, that's true.
I'd sing it for you, but rough voice this morning.
So I hopefully,
Well, I got that in my head all day now.
Yeah. So,
Uh-oh.
somebody must be watching live somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but yeah. So I hope that they get some doubles team. Maybe a doubles team will advance, and hopefully some singles. But I know there's some tough singles players in the area. So good luck to them. What else do we have? Track starts their sections next week. I think Wednesday or Thursday, and we should fare pretty well there, or should fare well there.
Yep.
We were talking last night about getting some guys maybe somebody in the 3200 might go, but Coach Please set me straight last night, because there's some really good runners that are running under 10, and right now he doesn't have a runner going under 10 minutes.
But they do have, is it the girls,
The 4x8
4x8?
with Anderson, Hertling, Sullivan, and Strukel, I think. I hope I get that right. They set that school record
Yep.
at the Hamlin Elite Meet. They should focus on and being in Class A, Double A. I mean, they were behind 2 AAA teams at that meet, and
Yep.
there was no Class A, Double A team there with them. So they actually, I think, have a shot to
Good.
win a state title if they put it all together on that day. So hopefully that happens, and they're gonna get some other other girls advance in some other events like the 800, maybe the 400, 1600. I don't know about the 32. Depends how Serena sets up her lineup.
How about the non-running events like the?
Well, Hibbing will get in the shot put. Aiden Shepard's been throwing over 50 feet.
Wow.
So he's been the top thrower in this part of the section the whole year. So I'm assuming he would, hopefully, if he doesn't have a bad day, wins the section. And then
Yep.
Vincent Marchetti has been coming in second to him. So they could pull off a double-double in
Nice.
the shot put, which would be the first time, and I'll find that out, but first time since the 90s, I think, that they've had maybe 2 shot putters go to state. Austin Valento is, I think his personal best this year is like 11.9. I'm not positive on that. But there's also a kid from the southern part of the section who's been going over 12.
Okay.
So he certainly has a shot if he performs on
Yep.
that day. So he has a shot to at least play second and go to state. Their 4x8's not a bad team either. I'm not going to say who's on it because I don't know personally who would be running that.
You're
but
talking about the boys?
boys,
Okay.
yeah, and so there's the opportunity there. Maybe the 1600, Jack Bottoms and Brady Janicic have been running well in that. So we'll hopefully see something
Good.
there. But yeah, they have a good shot. I don't know if they can win the section necessarily, win the section team title, but
And let me guess who their main competition is.
well,
Rock Ridge.
it'll be Rock Ridge, but it'll also be one of those teams from like Chisago Lakes or
Yeah.
North Branch or somebody down there. So, you got to get as many as you can in the top 8 to score points.
Right.
So set your lineup up where you can score 3. And I think 3 people score in each event. So that'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see.
All right.
I know that I've talked your ear off.
No, that's all right. What'd you say? I guess we can switch over. We got much lot of time.
Yeah.
Now the big story now is the Minnesota Timberwolves coming off the big win in Denver. Think maybe there was a little letdown last night.
Well, that's what it kind of sounds like. It sounds like they were a little tired.
Celebrating.
So yeah, instead of flexing their muscles after their Denver win, they should have got on the plane and started resting and taking care of their bodies. And maybe they did. I don't know, but that seemed to be the consensus this morning on this talk show I heard, because they were so pumped up about winning that. But you know what? You still had 8 more wins to go.
Yeah, well, reality maybe set in last night that they
Well.
got to keep playing the way they have been, and now that they're the Cinderella team, everybody's watching. I see they had what's his name told Barkley to get his ass here or something like that. That's the new T-shirt now they got down it. But I think they'll do okay. I don't know who were the big guns last. I don't get it on my black and white, so I wasn't able to watch it.
Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic,
Yeah, the
both
big
scored
games.
in the 30s. Which, so what? If you can slow down their other guys.
Yeah.
But what Irving went off for 24 points in the first half and didn't do much in the second half. Did some, but not like that. And Doncic took over in the second half, and they couldn't seem to stop him. They couldn't. They scored 64, I think, points in the paint.
That
Dallas
doesn't
did.
say much for Rudy, does
Well,
it?
no, it doesn't say much for Rudy, Nas, or Carl.
Yeah.
For if they were getting 34 points in the paint,
Yeah.
or 64 points in the paint. So they certainly, I'm sure they'll pick it up, they'll make adjustments,
Oh, yeah.
and then hopefully they split, and they go down and hopefully get a
Split.
split in Dallas, and then you have 2 out of 3,
Yep.
and you have 2 of them at home.
Yep.
So take advantage of the home, because the Vikings sure didn't take advantage of that when they had the Super Bowl here.
Yeah.
You know, when they went to Philadelphia and got it handed to them.
Yeah.
I mean, that you'd think having the Super Bowl here would have been motivation enough to play well, but it's the Vikings. So,
I like that segue you made.
well, no,
We went from winner to loser.
well, they have their OTAs now, and I know that I finally heard Sam Darnold actually say something. So we know he's our quarterback.
Yeah.
And JJ's sitting there in the wings along with Nick Mullins and whoever else they have. So we'll
So
see.
they got rid of the 2 from last year, huh? The astronaut and the
Yeah, the Pasternaut or whatever the heck they called him is gone. I believe he signed with another team, and Jalen Hall is still there,
oh,
I believe.
still think he's gonna make it.
Well, we'll see. I mean, he got put. I mean, he did well on that first game he played until he got the concussion. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, the best job you can ever have in the NFL is a backup quarterback.
yep, carry a
paid-
clipboard and get paid pretty
You
good
get
money.
paid pretty good.
The Twins, we mentioned, have a 2-game winning streak. They just broke a 7-game losing streak after winning 13 in a row.
But they went from a half game out to 6.5. right
Yeah,
now,
because
so,
they lost to Cleveland 3 straight games,
Yep.
and I know what I told you before the show, what we are to Cleveland, but I won't say that on the air. I don't think you'll say that on the air either.
No.
But,
Next is Texas and then Kansas City.
yeah, so now they play Texas and Kansas City. Of course, Texas won the World Series last year, and
Yep.
Kansas City is actually looking like they might become a baseball team.
Yeah, they're not the
Finally.
doormat anymore.
Yeah, so
So-
big 7-game homestand. I hope they'd win 7 in a row, but you know, if they get 5 out of the 7, that would
Yeah.
be pretty good. Let's go with that and get 5.
Do they still got the sausage they're throwing around, or they're trying to
Yeah,
get
and I
rid of it?
wish they would just get rid of that and play baseball.
Yep.
And it sounded like Royce Lewis was running bases back in the Twin Cities while they were on this road trip. So maybe he's getting close to a return, and we'll see just what a difference he makes.
Don't be looking at my finger.
I don't know what you're pointing at.
Our clock.
Oh, well, it is. It's getting down there. But yeah, I mean, I want to see this team at full strength.
That'll be interesting. They still don't have any pitching, but except for Pablo.
Well, Pablo got hammered his last time out.
Yep.
Joe Ryan pitched a pretty good game, and then Simeon Woods Richardson, whose name goes all the way
From sleeve to sleeve.
from waist to waist,
Yeah.
it pitched pretty good yesterday. Although he took him out with pitching 4 2/3 innings, he didn't give up a run. He took him out. But hey, we're come to the end of another show. We hope you enjoyed it. And for Mike Egan, I'm Gary Gimbetti. We'll see you again on Home Team Advantage.
Keep sending those cards and letters.
For over 25 years, U.S. Bank, located at 211 East Howard Street in Hibbing, Minnesota, has provided office and studio space for Hibbing Public Access Television. We are thankful for their ongoing support.